I want to go back. He wants to go back. I want to go back to the farm. Go back far away from home, with a milk pail on my arm. I miss the rooster, the one that used to wake me up at 4 a.m. down on the farm.
I'm Scott Boehm. They call me the old farmer. This is the best year for tomatoes we've ever had. In our other place we couldn't grow tomatoes at all because trees, and they weren't our trees, so we couldn't cut them down, so we couldn't grow tomatoes. And this is our second attempt, and this is what would you say, it's about middle of September, just short of middle of September. Some of the tomatoes are dying back just a little bit, but I would say we gave away over a bushel of tomatoes to friends. We probably ate a bushel of tomatoes. And Marty's doing some experimental canning with tomatoes. She did small batches. It isn't an all-day project like I remember growing up on the farm where we would be days and days of canning. But she did some stewed tomatoes, some tomato juice. She did some tomato sauce. And some people are bothered by canning. Rule of thumb, take it to 10 or 15 pounds. 10 pounds is usually enough. And cook it for the prescribed time for 5 pounds and you should be okay. A little less amount in the jar so that you don't boil over and ruin the seal of the lid. But it's noisy and it's a long process of canning. And the way Marty's doing it, one day she prepares a food and sticks it in the refrigerator, and then the next day she does the canning. And we don't know what the cherry tomatoes are. We planted Abe Lincolns, and we're gathering seed too. We're saving the seed. The round ones, I think Marty mislabeled the gardening book. The small ones here, which will grow to normal size, some of them are Abe Lincolns. And that's a heritage style where the seeds will go true year after year. And then over here, the bulbous ones, such as this. This is beefsteak tomatoes. And we have no idea what the cherry tomatoes are, but they are pretty good tomatoes. And it's getting to the point where there's a little bit less sun during the day, and so the production is slowing down. I may start chopping off some of the green tomatoes so that the energy is put into ripening the ones that are close to ripening. So it's almost to the point of having too many tomatoes to eat. But this is the first year that we've just a tremendous amount of tomatoes. We did garlic, and we had a couple of stray onions grow. Our beets got wiped out by the rabbits, and so this bed is done. I could have put in a fall crop, but we're just taking things one step at a time, and we're going to get things pretty much wrapped up when the tomatoes are done. Buried inside here is some spinach and maybe some snow peas, or maybe they've died out. I don't know. I won't be able to tell until we start pulling the tomato plants out. Want to get a tomato, Mimi? Let's garden. Let's go to the garden, pup. Let's get a tomato. Let's get a tomato. Yeah. Here we go. Mimi sure loves her tomatoes. She kind of holds it in her mouth. Well, she's chewing a little bit, but most times she holds it in her mouth until she's inside. There we go, puppy. Now these are motion sensor lights that I had for Mimi's losing her vision. Here we go. She enjoyed her tomato. This is our chive. And we got basil and oregano and some lavender, I believe, is the other thing. Took me a second to think of it. But we had a pretty good year of flowers. Things are winding up. Here's some rosemary growing right here. You can see some rosemary. I would say it's been probably 32 years or so since I had a real garden like this. Our first house, we had plenty of garden space. We could, in theory, grow enough food to sustain ourselves if we went vegetarian and if we wanted to do intensive gardening. But we didn't do that. But I sure made that garden a good investment for the people who bought the house. So that was 32, 33, 35 years ago, some such thing. Then we moved to the next house because the schools were best for our son Josh to go to school. And then we finally got sick and tired of the silliness that was going on. And so we moved out in the country again, and we're doing some interior stuff with the house. We got some remodeling planned. I'm going to be working on the baseboard and the molding in the house because we don't like it. Right here we have those sympathetic onions that came through. There were 3 of them. And the rest of this is garlic. A neighbor of ours gave us some garlic, and we also had some from M.I. Gardner that's in there. So not a lot of garlic, but certainly enough to replant for next year. This is the old farmer Scott Bain saying, "Be well."
It's a great little plane. I think you'll enjoy using one of these.